Whoa, what? This isn't TRTF, and this was gonna be the part where I would talk about how soon this video released.
It's only been 39 years!
I should stop talking about my upload schedule, this shit never ages well. What, you thought the 2020 Dorian who used to upload regularly would actually come back? Well, no. He's fucking dead, alright? This is 2021 Dorian, the one who finally made up his mind on how his character looks like. I can actually switch between stills and it doesn't look jarring as if I'm switching between different fucking characters altogether. Well, that aside, you know Yoshi's Island, right? I myself am not that nostalgic for the game. The most I can say is that a fan game I'm actually nostalgic for used quite a few assets from it. And apparently there's a sequel being made to it. This does not make me horny. This makes me happy. But I did play most of the Yoshi's Island games, at least to an extent. Even the 3DS one. And not the good one. Oh, that sounds sweet. Which Friday Night Funkin' mod is this music from? The only impressive thing about this game is how far Yoshi's asshole can stretch. But enough of me rambling about anything but the game this video is about. Taking something as cute and turning it into a horror game sounds like something a FNAF fan game developer would do. Or an EXE game developer. Yeah, before we had Five Nights at Everything, we had hyper-realistic blood on everything. Those were good times, let me tell ya. Now, in 2018, a game by Jeb Yoshi came out called Five Nights at Yoshi's, and no, this isn't the one we're talking about, god no. It's pretty much just Five Nights at Sonic's, but probably better actually. I mean, the bar can only go so low. Look, it's outside of the video. You know, you probably should have positioned this character a bit higher, just saying. Also, you need to download Scratch to play this. Yeah, so basically you can only play this on school computers or whatever. The game we are actually talking about today is a remake of this game, and by the same developer no less. You might have heard of it, as it actually got in the news at one point. So what happened was Nintendo. You can fill in the blanks yourselves. But yeah, their ninjas broke into GameJolt HQ and DMCA'd about 400 games, mainly because they had ads running on them. Now it seems like some news articles actually led people to believe that it's these greedy game developers wanting to make profit off of Nintendo's IPs. But actually, GameJolt were the only ones getting revenue from those ads. And the website never warns you about the consequences of having them turned on. Here's a tip, if you're making literally anything other than a FNAF fan game, itch.io exists. Luckily the game page was brought back, so I didn't need to dig through some shady Russian websites to find a re-upload. And I mean, I did find one, but it's a little outdated. Well, but now let's get on to the review of the game that a whole one person asked for. You know, I don't get many requests, so it's not really that surprising. Why do I feel like I shouldn't have said that? To start off, I guess I could mention that this game is actually inspired by Fun Times at Homer's. So we can already see some improvement, as it's inspired by an actually good parody game this time. Although don't expect me to cover it anytime soon, as I probably won't get like 99% of the references, and it's still being updated.
Why he died?
And I don't want to end up making multiple reviews of the same game. Bloody hell. Now about the story, does anyone actually care? Of course, it's always you. So in this game's story, there used to be a cartoon called Yoshi and Friends. A very original name.
Now I know how meatball feels!
And after it went off the air, its company opened a pizza chain called Yoshi's Pizza. An even more original name. You know, if you want totally objectively better names, you can always ask me for help.
Impressive.
And then your usual FNAF stuff, you know, characters get quirky. So that's the setup, and I don't really see the point of diving any deeper, as this series is discontinued, so it's not like the lore is really going anywhere. The game is drawn quite well, the line work is clean, the colors pop, although it could use some shading, but I have a hunch that that might have been left out on purpose. The character designs are simplistic yet distinct enough, and they're quite expressive and show more emotion rather than just smile and smile harder. The jump scares are done by tweening instead of individually drawn frames, but I'd say they do the job well enough. And the game's interface and menus are lively but not too colorful and in your face. Its sweet style alone, in my opinion, makes it stand out among the other fan games. Like, it actually does kinda feel like you're playing a game made by Nintendo. No, I didn't mean that I, mistook this for your product. No, get away! Now Now, the gameplay isn't completely original, it's mostly a spin on the classic FNAF 1 formula. And yeah, sure, that may seem a bit uninspired, but honestly, all of these FNAF 1 remakes that keep popping up are significantly more uninspired. Can't come up with an original title and logo? Well, just do this? Potentially a custom night. You know, I have like a month or two of Click Team experience. I can teach you how to make a custom night, I promise, it's not that difficult. No, how am I gonna get my Funny Fusion Z Gamer titles now?
As I say, it's scary and it's getting intense. That happened, so that's cool. Is that like a TikTok song? TikTok song.
Yeah, I very much prefer this place. Please tell me you weren't serious. That must have been some 4D chess move to make everyone comment and boost your video through the algorithm, right? If so, I congratulate you. If not, I still congratulate you, you managed to be even stupider than I am. Just like usual, we're gonna break down the gameplay by looking at all the characters, that being the Yoshis. At least I think most of them are. You know, you can say whatever you want about how cursed a mixed breed between a Yoshi and a spider is, but that is a spider with 6 legs.
Not scientifically possible!
The first, and probably my favorite character in this whole game, Daniel, is pretty much your standard door character but with a unique twist. Unlike most of these types of characters who give in to their childish tendencies to play green light red light with you. How do you even do that? Daniel actually steps away from the door when you spot him, and hides behind a wall so you can only tell if he's left by looking at the camera. Or, kind of a neat detail, you can actually just not check the lights and shut the door right in his face. Hey, buddy? You know, I'm gonna put this picture here so it's not as boring for you to and he's gone. I should have put a Reggie picture. One thing I absolutely adore about Daniel is that he has a mood swing every time he takes a step. He's even stressed out in the extras. It's kinda funny, but I'm also genuinely concerned about him. Look man, I know ever since the breakup things have been tough, but I promise you can live without your Roblox girlfriend. She wasn't even an actual girl. Speaking of, next character is Onion. Now she enters from the right door, but she can't step away from it because she's... And as you can see here, the Reggie pick doesn't seem to affect her. Well, that's actually because this is a decoy that she uses, and obviously inanimate objects can't be scared. Basically, you only need to close the door when the real Onion is outside the office. It's an interesting mechanic, but it's so easy to tell the difference between the two that really it's not that significant and pretty much makes this a basic door character. Also, when Onion is a bit further away, you can still see her through the door. It's a small detail, but it's this kind of attention to detail that I really like about this game. Hey, Ryan, would you consider reviewing 6 horrors? Yes. Next up is Yoshi himself, who is probably the most hilarious character in this game because he actually expects you to take him seriously.
What if gravity isn't a force at all?
As you'd expect, looking at him in the camera slows him down, but the way he actually attacks you is also quite different. He appears behind the window in front of you, and no, he doesn't try to break through it. Neither do the other characters that appear there. I mean, it's a FNAF fan game, everyone here has to be at least somewhat of an idiot. Instead, he will repeatedly run into one of the doors, close them in time, do it enough times, and he'll give up eventually. Also, it appears Yoshi makes Daniel and Onion step away from the doors, so you don't have to worry about them. Next character is Chili, who has a pepper and also happens to be red and hot. Yeah, he's pretty much foxy, but you don't need to look at the cameras to see him run, which if anything makes him more predictable and way less of a threat. You can watch him in the cameras to slow him down, but later on it's pretty much just a waste of power, especially with how aggressive he gets. Next thing you know, he's already on his way and I still haven't come up with a joke about a Red Hot Chili Peppers song. The fact that I'm struggling with this, well, if you have to ask, my friends, it really knocks me down as a wannabe comedian. Also, can we applaud this genius for taking the longest route that also exposes him through the window when he could have just gone to the left door? How do you have the mental capacity to move your legs properly? Oh, he tripped on the Reggie picture. You see, this right here is a tool of mass annihilation. So that was the main cast, but there's still 3 more extra characters, the first one being Scrappy.
Look at me, I'm British.
Wow, epic fail.
Not to be confused with the midget Scooby-Doo. Did he just commit manslaughter? Oh, it was an actual monster. Oh wait, there were actual monsters in Scooby-Doo? I thought it was all just furry convention rejects. The way you deal with him is something that I actually haven't seen being done that much, as you actually need to purposefully let him inside the office. And then use the jammer to make him go back. Otherwise, if you keep the door locked on him for too long, he will, get, how do you say it? Okay, we're done here. The last thing I want is getting cancelled for trying to be British. So you ever just play a game and then encounter an enemy that makes you think, oh wow, I wonder who's more brain dead, this thing or whoever would actually lose to it? Well, here that would be inverted Yoshi. He's pretty much your obligatory Golden Freddy type character, but with a kill timer so absurdly long that even the game pokes fun of you for getting killed by him. I barely had any air left, that's the closest you get to killing me. And the last character is Spindly. He will occasionally hang from the ceiling and you need to punch him to make him go back up. Don't punch spiders in real life though, you probably already have enough white goo stains in your room, no need to add even more to that. There's one more aspect of the gameplay I'd like to bring up, the power. Here it drains pretty quickly, maybe because, I don't know, someone had a genius decision to keep all the lights turned on when the building is closed. You know, maybe all those burglars that the night guards are supposedly being told to keep the building safe from in all of these fan games aren't actual burglars, but instead just people that think the restaurant is still fucking open. I think it's about time we plugged off the fan. Can someone open the fucking window? Oh, fuck. Shit. I watched DBZ movies. I know it's possible to survive a collision with the sun. Nothing in this world is too hot for me. Holy shit! What are you doing? Don't fix it. Keep it broken. Smash it. Yeah, actually smash every light bulb in this building. Oh, and I should also mention that you cannot reach 6 AM during a power out. Yeah, until you get killed, you're pretty much stuck in this void with no concept of time passing. So basically you enter the mind of a person who's still waiting for LEGO Skywalker Saga to come out. Overall, there's nothing scary about this game, well, relatively scary. I just implied that FNAF fan games are scary. But in exchange, its gameplay is definitely more fast-paced compared to others, especially later on. And I'd say the game is quite well balanced, although the power can definitely get quite strict. Because of this, especially on night 6, the game gets quite a spike in difficulty. Since, you know, we were just talking about Nintendo characters, I thought I'd specify that I didn't mean the Nintendo equivalent of LA Beast. Although there is a sort of a flaw that this and, to be honest, many fan games suffer from in my opinion. And that being the cameras not really having that much use. And heck, because of how quickly the power drains, later on you're better off not using them at all. I don't know, I just always found it kinda funny how the cameras, despite being one of the most iconic mechanics in FNAF games, are either useless or straight up bad if you're going for an optimal strategy. Oh, it actually worked! Oh boy, this is my favorite part of reviewing FNAF fan games since I don't really have much interesting to actually say. You have your usual character PNGs, with one of them being a JPEG for some reason.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Then there's concept art and unused content, which granted isn't something you see that often, especially the former. And then your usual custom night, with the 2 small unique things that I kinda like. The first one being a preset that sets everyone to randomized AI each hour, that's not something you see often. And the second being that whenever you switch away from the presets, the characters are set to random AI. A randomize AI button could have worked, but this is still a neat feature. And of course there's the cheat. Wait, no, don't call the police, I'm not Romanian. Wait, actually, if you're calling the Romanian police, yeah, I should be fine.
That's a good attack, but it doesn't work on me.
Now, in the previous versions of the game, you had to complete all of the challenges before being able to do max mode. But that restriction no longer exists, because I guess some normal people would be pretty irritated by it. But I'm a completionist, and as you may know, we are pretty far from being normal people. Now, in the custom night, the power does drain slower. It doesn't really help much, let me tell ya. I managed to beat the 720 mode after numerous tries, with 0% power left. Holy shit, I haven't felt the need to micromanage my power this much ever since TRTF rebooted. Before it got Phil morged. Yeah, by the way, follow it, it's going to be good, okay? Sources? Trust me. Normally all max mode is the last thing you need to do in a FNAF fan game to complete it, but here you actually unlock another mode. With this game having an endless mode, you may ask, how would this work with limited power? Well, to rectify that, there is a generator, but it doesn't make the game too easy, as you can't use it when both doors are closed. Okay, you know what? I'm happy with a fancy number, let's just move on. What are you gonna do if I don't get 1000 points? Drop a comically large rock on me? Well, that is a dead joke by now, so it's not gonna happen. Shit. All in all, Five Nights at Yoshi's is obviously not some crazy big fan game with ambitious ideas, of which there's already dime a dozen. Now, the reason why I bring this up kind of out of the blue is because I feel like there's been a bit of a divide in the fan game scene as of recent. Between the fan games with quite ambitious ideas, packed with really fancy graphics, though for the most part it's only the latter, and the underdog type fan games, which are basically everything that doesn't look like a AAA project, and yet has the potential to surpass the former in pretty much everything but the presentation. It's come to the point where the former gets disproportionately more recognition than the latter. Now, whether those games deserve the attention they get or not is an entirely separate topic of discussion. I do feel like these simpler and yet still really good fan games are quite underappreciated these days. Like, for example, people dump on games like Five Nights at Wario's for using Google Images for graphics, and yet it is one of the most unique and experimental FNAF fan game series out there. Heck, that's kinda why my picks for fan games to review are oftentimes a bit odd. I just like giving attention to the more overshadowed fan games that are just as worth checking out. And Five Nights at Yoshi's is definitely one of them. It's a great parody game, and it does what you would expect from a good parody. It takes an interesting spin on the source material without taking itself too seriously. And combined with its more fast-paced gameplay, it definitely comes off as some sort of a more arcade-ish FNAF. Nevertheless, I feel like as a parody some more could be done with it. Like the main enemy going to the woman's bathroom, or the characters making noises in the kitchen. Those are just FNAF 1 tropes with nothing really different.
Oh, look at that confetti!
Oh, what are you doing here, you handsome, wholesome YouTuber who also happens to be quite proud of his home country? I wish I could share that same sentiment. Oh, one more thing. In the previous versions of the game, there used to be a character called...
Who disturbs my...
Oh my god, it's Chris Pratt? You know I can't read when you're like 50 meters away. Nicocado avocado? You're just gonna casually turn yourself into a floating head? Yeah, fair enough. Oh yeah, about that. Okay, firstly, what is it with you mighty powerful beings wanting me to review shit all of a sudden? Second, which is already more than too much. And secondly, I cannot review Five Nights at Wario's fan games before I review the actual series itself. Okay, deal. Things just haven't been the same ever since those weirdos came around. So maybe turning a new leaf early is for the better. Anyway, you mentioned going back. Did you mean like time traveling? Fuck's sake, why can't you just use elevators? So, what's gonna happen to this timeline? Wait, this is... Give me a pack of tea bags and don't try to pull anything on me. Wait, specify the tea flavor. Alright, black tea. And that was oddly not stupid of you. What do I say? I'm dumb. Yeah, seems about right. Alright, what should I pick? I could wish for Sonado to be canon, but who knows what kind of impact that would make on the history. Wait. Yeah, right. Hey, Calypso! Kill this bitch! You just can't win against this guy. He gave me a bag of teas. You know, you should have probably asked for a new t-shirt. Okay, I will admit that is funnier than you asking whether the road is falling for the 10th fucking time. Lockjaw, TRTF. Lockjaw. Why did I bring it up? Lockjaw. Shut up before I make you review Dormitabus. Oh, I mean, that doesn't sound so bad. Rebuild. No, please, anything but that. Actually, do you think if I asked Calypso for a TRTF3 remake, would it be better or worse? Definitely better, cause he'd actually do something intentionally funny. Yeah, right. Also, I just noticed, you haven't been steering the car in a while. Well, unlike you, this road is straight, and it's not like we're driving a bus in the middle of a desert. I'm a handicapped person driving a car. We've already broken more than enough safety regulations. Well, you could let me drive. No, you are mentally handicapped. You'll get us in a car crash before I get to say, well, anything really. And then, aside from the fact that I'd have to sell your stacks of Silver the Hedgehog merch to pay for your medical bills, who knows what might happen. I know, right?
So, but still I let you go. Under this pink sky is where we went our separate ways. I want you to know I love you, so I won't let you go. I wish I had said these words to you, but I have left all these words unspoken. Light pink petals start.
Whoa, look, the road actually fell. Shut the fuck up!
And they keep me from ending our sad story. You ain't lost and I went right. Still I fly with all my might. Oh, to pull you back to mine. You're not coming back, I know, but I just can't let you go. Hear my voice. I just want to have the choice to forget her completely. Cause you'll never be with me.
Who are they deserting from?